So we have a solution. See if that holds up. Get us through another day. Found this cool little overlook spot. We figured it's a good place for a little picture session. Yeah. So we found our way to Trail 50 to a lookout spot, another one. We'll see how this is. Trail 60, which is a pretty fun trail. It's a little difficult driving with the camera trying to film, but we'll see what we can keep doing. Found some rocks on Trail 11.
Yeah, I think, the thing is,
Go that way a little bit easy. Now I'd probably start climbing, going. What do you want to do? You want to come out over here now, or are you going to go that way over that? Straighten it. Now go back. Tried to get you by it, but
That's fun.
yeah. Did you bring your golf clubs? Yeah, it's actually worse over there, I think. Now go passenger. Yeah, you might make it. Yeah, he's right, right? Yeah, it's a lot better. That was a much better line. What's up, everybody? I'm back home now from a trip to Windrock, and I figured I'd just do a quick little recap. You know, it was a good trip overall. We probably didn't cover as much ground total as we wanted to, but as a whole, we did pretty good. We covered quite a bit of ground. We just didn't as normal. We didn't have a great plan and just kind of ran around and saw what we saw. But a lot of learning in it and things I figured out as I went. But I guess a little backstory is it's been a while since I've probably been in an off-road park with the Tacoma. I have a Jeep, you know, had a Jeep, recently got rid of and probably build something else soon, but figure that just Jeep was going in a direction. I didn't really want to put more time into it, so I figure it's time to start wheeling the Tacoma more again and give it a shot, and this trip was part of that. So we had a good time. There's a little bit of learning curve. It obviously works a lot different than a long arm Jeep, you know, something with a solid axle in the front. But what I learned, number one, I guess, is we kind of had a plan. We struggled a little bit with the plan, and like day one, we actually had a lot of fun. It was just we ended up outside the park somewhere, and when all was said and done, I came over kind of a breakover, and when on the descent there was a rock, and I really couldn't avoid it as quick as I wanted. I caught it with the transfer case, broke the transfer case, or just broke my skid plate. Was one that attached to the transfer case, so we're attached to the transfer case, obviously it broke that off. Quite honest, ran 2.5 hours with no fluid in the transfer case, because at that point we were so far out, we were struggling to find our way back. No issues. We just used some quick steel, put the bosses back on to cover up the holes, and fill it with fluid, and ran for 6-7 more hours after that. Good time. We just didn't quite necessarily see the sights at Windrock that we wanted to see. Probably in the video it's probably hard to tell where we are, because we're all over the place, and we trying to figure out where we were, jumped all that you know, we have basically ADD on the trail. Oh, it's cool, we'll go that way. But things I learned about the Tacoma is, number one, with my tire size and the gearing, low range is probably part of the reason why I caught the transfer case. Was when I came over in low first gear, you let off the gas, the thing just totally stops. You know, it either needs a little more tire. Anyways, we definitely need on the truck, would be nice, but there's some clearance issues with the dunes that way. But and then obviously the tire pressure, I was running a little lower and I probably should have been. I was at like 10 pounds and it probably should be more like 12, 15, and you just feel it every time you hit a rock or something. You can feel the tires really just wrap around the rock, which is good for traction, but traction wasn't an issue that day at all. So probably just mistake, live and learn. You know, I guess the other side of it is the low gearing. It really just stopped, and as it stopped, it brought the truck down and really put it into that. Whereas later, you know, I was just running around in high more so, and first gear was actually pretty good and actually let me, the supercharger really, and the truck's tuned pretty aggressively. It really just wants to, in low, you touch the gas, it just wants to spin the tires and go, which isn't necessarily a horrible thing. It's just you don't have near the throttle control, where I could just be in high, I could have a lot more throttle control. You know, as a whole, we had a great trip. Covered a fair amount of trails. We had a good time. We just didn't really see all the sites. We went for the abandoned train and never found it, but that was when the transfer case thing happened, and then we were trying to find our way back onto the property, and we had to find some really cool trails. It just got to the point where after an hour on those trails, wondering how we're going to find our way back, and we did. It was interesting, but we got back in, and that was honestly some great trails. It's just the not knowing, the uncertainty of where we were. Day two, we had a blast. We were all over the place. We covered somewhere between, I think one of the side-by-sides odometer was like 60-70 miles. I can't remember what the exact number was, but we covered a fair amount of miles, and we had a good time. It was really dusty. It did rain a little bit for day two, and it rained a lot on night later in the day at 2, which was nice also. So all in all, it was a good time. Tacoma did well. I guess, you know, I picked up a lot of scratches, but that's part of the game. And so really, it's like, what do you guys think? Am I crazy for trying to take that thing to off-road parks? Is it back to building something again like the Jeep I had, you know, for that kind of situation? Or let me hear your thoughts. Wheel it, or should it be a Dune Queen? Thanks. Have a good one.